this morning in this hostel. I'm leaving tomorrow morning at 8, so I'll be by the airport at 5 probably. So I'm having a little breakfast and I'm not sure what to do today. I need to check at 11. Fortunately, I can leave my luggage here, so that's good. And I can stay here until like 7 p.m. I just gotta, move out of my room. So I'm not sure what to do. I think I'm just gonna spontaneously take a stroll around Tokyo. Kyoto. It's new. So yeah, but first let's take our time and enjoy the breakfast. Hi. How do you do that? Alright, I made it to my hotel. That was a cheap one. I was supposed to spend the night at the airport, but I found this one for like $50 and I was like, well, that would be nice to have a bed tonight. So anyway, I'm staying here for tonight and I'm actually not staying that long. It's like 9:30 and tomorrow I have, how do you call it? Oh, wow. Oh, I have my flight at 8 and I feel like I should take the 5 a.m. shuttle just to be sure. Breakfast is at 4:30, so I'm definitely gonna go enjoy that. But yeah, I need to go take a shower and all that. It's gonna be a short night, but that's better. I'm gonna hopefully sleep on the plane, on the flight. So yeah. I just want to say that it went by so fast. It was definitely the best trip of my life. Everything was much better than anything I expected, honestly. I lived the dream for 2 weeks. My inner child especially was crying tears of joy almost every 5 minutes. Well, thank you for watching this video. That means you've watched all the other videos and all the trips, so maybe I said it somewhere, but I was actually thinking about it. You probably saw not even 2% of what I've seen. I've seen so much. Of course, I could not film all the time, and actually some of the the best parts were not filmed. The best parts, I'm thinking about the most beautiful streets in Kyoto, for example. The really old ones, we're not allowed to film them, for example, and those were absolutely mind-blowing. Just walking through them, it was like, back in time 500 years ago. So every interaction I had with Japanese people, remembering the grandma in the restaurant, and remembering this young guy at the bagel shop at the bottom of the bottom of the mountain. Oh, and also that American guy who helped me in this ridiculous situation at the hostel, and this so super cool Japanese woman in my hostel. Oh, this guy who was making a photo shoot out of a wine that was French wine, and we talked a bit. I mean, all those people I talked to, well, beside the American guy, it was Japanese, you know, in Japanese, with sometimes a couple of English words here and there, because I couldn't find it in Japanese, you know, whatever. But yeah, all those interactions were definitely the highlights of my trip. Really the highlights. It's like the people, again, it's like, it's always that, you know, I'm coming for the country, for the food, for the culture, but in the end, what really makes all that is the people, and then that's usually my highlight. Wherever I go, it's funny. This was the best trip of my life, and I cannot wait to be back. It's a subarashi kuni. It's a beautiful country, and I'm very sad I'm leaving, but I'm so happy thinking about everything that I've just lived and experienced and tasted, and I feel fulfilled, you know? It's so weird. I rarely have this feeling after a trip. I'm usually just super sad, frustrated, and all that, because, you know, I don't want to leave. But this time, I don't want to leave. I'm sad, but I feel fulfilled, and I think it's because this has been a dream for more than 15 years, and it was extraordinary. So yeah, fulfilled is a good word. Or first, for now at least. Alright people, this is the end of the series. I cannot believe it. It's been more than 2 months since I've been back, but you know, editing and all that took a lot of time, so this is the end. Throughout the whole trip, I've kept memos, you know, little notes of what I noticed, what I liked, what I did not like, and I just want to share that with you to wrap this series. First of all, for a very long time, I was looking for a word to define Tokyo, and insane is a good word. Not in a bad way, insane in a positive way. Insane in a way that it's just a huge city, the biggest in the world, and it's insane in many ways, where you can find the amount of people, the amount of cars, obviously, the food, the temples and the shrines everywhere. So I spent 5 days in Tokyo and then 5 days in Kyoto with one in Osaka. As for Kyoto, I'd say magical. I really felt like Kyoto was the more magical way of Japan, this side of Japan that I wanted to experience. My very first thoughts that I wrote down when I was on the flight, I saw that was Air Japan, I guess. Yeah, Nippon Air. And they serve you a Häagen-Dazs ice cream mini, and this is a little detail I've never seen in other airlines. So I was like, wow, this starts here. Japanese people, they always have this next level service, and even though I was in economy, I actually felt it. Then as soon as I landed in Japan, I went to pee, and the toilets were very futuristic. There is water sound, you got a lot of buttons. I don't even know what they're for, but that was very wow, I felt like I was in a futuristic city. And clean, which is usually not the case in airports, so clean. So everyone quiet in the airport. The only one we hear from miles away is an American talking. It was like everyone was just very polite and quiet, making their way through immigration or whatever, and you got an American blah, 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 talking so loudly. He was talking to someone right next to him. I was like, you don't need to yell. We don't need to hear your story. But Americans, sorry, but that's true. So yeah, just that. Oh yeah, when I went in the streets, first thing I saw was like a lot of sports car, which of course, I love, and also it's like a Fast and Furious. So it's like, wow, this is real. This is a real thing. And I definitely enjoyed that. I did see a Mustang, a Dodge, a couple of Ferraris, and then a lot of other like Nissan, Toyotas, whatever, but like in sports models, and those were cool. I knew it, of course, but this is something you notice right away as a European. They drive the other way, and so the escalators are also the other way, or the way you walk, and all that. It's kind of like the other way. It's pitch night at 6. That also was like, oh my gosh, like at 6 it's dark. I don't think I've ever, besides like winter time in Europe, it's not something I'm used to, and I do believe it's always like that in Japan, but I might be wrong. A lot of taxis and traffic, but well, it's Tokyo. And then fashion is all over the place, and I love it. I remember, it's like you're in Paris, but it's even better. It's like people really dressed the way they want, and you got so much, like so many type of fashion over there. Fashion, it's like, wow, it's good for the eyes. It's really nice. Lots of staff everywhere to ensure the good experience, and I love it. I think I wrote that when I was going up the Tokyo Tower or something, and it was like so many people, like staff people, were there to just tell you, you go right this way, this is how you do it, you can go and I was like, wow, like you don't see that, especially not in France. You don't really see that often in other countries. They just do have a lot of staff, and if you have any problem, they're always here to hear you and help you out. Everywhere I've been to, even if you're a foreigner, it probably helped that I was speaking Japanese, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed that a lot. I wrote then that they are very respectful everywhere. Japanese people, it's like next level. And the city is clean, which yet again, if you go to, Roppongi or Akihabara at night or in the early morning when they haven't cleaned yet after parties and all that, it won't be. I did experience this, but during the day, it's actually, it's very clean. I was surprised that there are so many people outside in the streets at 6 a.m. and that the temples and most shrines were open at 5 a.m. For someone who likes to get up early and do things early, it's not exactly something enjoyable in France, because everything is closed until like 8 a.m. or something. So that was definitely something that I enjoyed. I was like, oh, I can just start my day right now, and that felt really good. People also, they pray early, As I was visiting a lot of temples and shrines, I was definitely seeing a lot of people praying, and that was interesting to see. I feel so safe walking everywhere. That's true. I've been walking, I walked 108 miles, 0.5, or 174.6 kilometers in 10 days. It is a lot. I walk so much. I walk day, I walk at nights, I walked in big streets, walked in the back streets and all that, and I've always felt very safe. And as a woman, and just as someone who travels a lot, it is not a feeling I have
often, unfortunately. So yeah, that was good. That felt good. What else? Oh, old people jogging. That is something, you know, it's like it humbles you up so much in Japan. There's just so many stairs and all that, and you got older people, like quite, you know, really grandmas people. They're jogging, they're climbing the stairs like it's nothing, and you're like, and I'm in good shape, I believe so, and I'm like, wow, they just humble you up so much, and it's fascinating, and it's very, like, I admire Japanese people for that, for this state of mind. And you know, that's why they're people who live the longest, because they eat well and they're always on the move, and that's good for your body. And that was like, let's do better, let's do my best. So I like that for sure too. So a lot of time I could not photograph or videotape for you a lot of places, so I did not show you, like, you know, all Strait of Kyoto's and just some places. And you know, of course, I respected this privacy. People in France being on their phones while they eat. I think I was in Kyoto when I wrote that, and it's something I did notice a lot. A lot of Japanese people are on their phones. I'm guessing a lot, like, people nowadays everywhere, but I feel like I felt it a lot more, and I noticed it a lot more in Japan. And I wonder if this has to do with this lonely problem they have over there. I don't know, I wrote it. Absolutely embarrassed to see some foreigners' behaviors in shops and in the streets. Not only Americans, sorry, but a lot of them, but also a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Spanish people, not so much of Europeans people, actually. I don't know why, it was always people speaking Spanish or Americans, like, just, yeah, behaving in a way, oh my gosh, I was just so embarrassed. I was talking with a Japanese woman at my hostel the other day, and she actually wanted to intervene, you know. There was a Spanish woman, I don't know what she was doing, but something disrespectful, and Amy, her English name, Amy went to see her and talked to her, like, you can't do that, you know, this is disrespectful. And the Spanish or Mexican or whatever Spanish speaking woman just said, I don't care. And I was like, wow, really? Prices of souvenirs or magnets, for example, vary a lot depending on the shops. Oh yeah, that's for sure. As a tourist, you know, I did shop a lot for souvenirs for my family and friends, and from one shop to another, good gracious, the prices were so different. Don't buy the first thing you see, like, make sure to just do a couple of shops to check the prices and get the best deal, because you can find the exact same magnet or whatever in like 10 shops, and they will have 10 different prices. Some streets are completely crowded, and then one street over, it's completely empty. Yeah, and I felt like that was it, like in Paris, you know, big cities with a lot of tourists. It's like, oh, you got this famous street so crowded, and then you take your right, and then suddenly there's nobody. And when I needed a break, I did that a lot, and that felt good, but that was weird for sure. So yeah, there's no trash in Japan, outside trash. Everybody keep their trash in their bags or whatever, and then they get rid of it themselves, you know, at their houses or whatever. So everything is always clean, which is great. As a tourist, there's no trash. That's a problem. I've had this problem a lot. I was like eating in a corner, hiding myself is what I was usually doing. But then what am I gonna do with all less trash, you know? And then if I'm like gonna be out of my hostel for the next 6 hours, I need to carry it, and it was usually quite problematic. I just did not like that. But at the same time, this is what keeps Japan clean, so you know, you gotta, I mean, you like it or not, this is how it is. But yeah, this is something I did not like. What I found great. The first thing is I went around the world. I noticed it, if you noticed in the video, I went from Paris to Tokyo, it was a direct flight, and then from Tokyo to Paris, but around the world. So I can say I officially went around the world, traveled around the world, and I don't know, I was just so happy when I found that out in the flight, in the plane. I was like, oh my gosh, we're not going, you know, I thought we would do Tokyo, Paris, going over China and all that, like we did on the way over, but no, we went over. So I was like, what? That was so cool. So they always give you a little something to clean your hands right before eating. This is something I definitely loved. Same to clean the public toilet. They always have something you can clean the seat of the toilet, and that is something I've never seen anywhere before. Everything is clean, trains, buses, streets, papier with instructions in different languages to answer your questions. Oh yeah, in buses and trains, everything is available in English, so you're not that lost, especially in big cities. It's like you don't have to read kanji, you know, or Japanese. It would help for sure, but the most important information are usually in transport system, transportation, written in English, so I thought that was really cool. Les sièges changent tout seuls de sens quand le train repart de l'autre côté. I saw that when I was when I took the Shinkansen, departed from Tokyo, but so that was the last stop from the train that was coming from Kyoto for I guess, I don't know. But so they don't change the train, they keep the same train where it is, and the seats, they just go different way. And I was like, this is fascinating. So many trains, so easy to go everywhere. It's kind of cheap. A lot of prices I thought that was pretty cheap. Food, for example. I think it's because the yen is low nowadays. Everyone walks, use their bicycles, healthy environment. Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier. Something I noticed is like everyone is always moving, and I like to see that. Designated smoking area, this is something yes, I like. I hate the, you know, smoke smell is just and it's, you know, absolutely terrible for your health. So this is really great that, you know, they can go kill themselves in this area if they want to, and we don't have to smell it. Everyone has a certain costume. Oh yeah, in Japan everyone is really dresses professionally, a lot more than everywhere else I've been to, and that was interesting to see. Les sièges des trains sont chauffés. Yeah, this is something I've never seen anywhere else before. I mean, experienced, I guess, but yeah, the seat in the trains, the metro and all that are heated. At least some of them were, and that felt good. Some days where, you know, when it was pretty cold. There's things that I did not like that much. Nothing to do with Japan itself, but my maps on my iPhone did not work well. I used Google Maps a lot, all the time, and I got lost I mean, not exactly lost, but I mean, I guess so. I guess so. And I don't know why, because I was in a big city, you know, and my internet was absolutely perfect. And yet, yeah, I had a couple of problems with that, but yeah, that's not about Japan. I did get lost, oh my gosh, a couple of times in the biggest train stations, Kyoto and Tokyo for sure. It's enormous, it's gigantic, it's, even though you understand you have to go this way or that way, it's so huge. I got lost, and using a Kleenex, a tissue, how do you call it? Yeah, just, you know, like doing this, like cleaning your nose. I don't know what the verb for this is, I don't remember it. It's not something you do in Japan in public. But when I came, it was early February, the weather was cold, and my nose was running a lot, and it was complicated to, you know, like they do that a lot, like really a lot, and this is okay, like it's really normal over there. You know, in France, it's like after 3 times, everybody's gonna look at you like, just use a tissue. And in Japan, it's the opposite. Do not use a tissue unless you're by yourself. And that was something I did not exactly like, but you know, whatever. And the last thing is, what the heck thing is, people over there, Japan is crazy about strawberries, and it's everywhere. It's like they're fond of strawberries over there. Strawberry is my favorite fruit, so that was really cool to see, but it's like it's really everywhere, and it's like it's like, what? I don't know where that comes from. That's all I wanted to say. I just also want to say again, thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully the rest of the videos. This playlist is available with all of the episodes in order, so we have in total 11 videos, I believe. Like I said many times, best trip of my life. I cannot wait to be back, which probably won't happen anytime soon because I'm having some other stuff going on, which you will know in the next video. It's a big announcement, very, very big, very, very big. So I hope you're gonna enjoy that. I mean, what's gonna follow, and I sure hope you enjoyed this whole series, this whole Japan series, because yeah, it's been 2 months, like I said, since I've been back, but wow, I still have this feeling of, my gosh, you know, I finally fulfilled this dream, and I'm so grateful for that. And I'm especially grateful I could make all of those videos to look back on in the future and to show my family and friends. You know, my parents, my family, they have been really enjoying those videos because, you know, I film like you are with me, experiencing and traveling with me. And so for people who cannot, like my parents, for example, they have been enjoying that a lot. So thank you so much for watching. Arigatou gozaimasu. And I'll see you in the next one, which will come very soon with a big announcement. So stay tuned. Thank you. Bye bye. 雨上がりたどってこればかりを持って頭の中に響く声見えすいた嘘で似たようなセリフ並べてばかりね